C'est la vie in football. C'est la vie. Arsenal lose to Sporting Lisbon on penalties in round 16 of the Europa League. I mean, did anyone think this would happen? Did anyone think we would lose to Sporting Lisbon in round 16? We honestly were probably favourites to win the Europa League. And, I mean, it's just the way it goes in football sometimes, right? We drew 2-2 in a hostile atmosphere out in Lisbon, bringing it back to the Emirates. We've gone for a strong side, and I'm thinking we've got enough to get through. I honestly do. And it's just the way football goes. The game kept going and going. And we've spoken at length this season about how at times, despite the game going on, Arsenal find a way to win that match at the end. We couldn't do so. We had glorious chances. Trossard are one-on-one in extra time. It goes to penalties. And I said before the penalties even started, I said there's teams that don't want to go up against penalties. It's against these Portuguese teams, man. In penalties, they're techie. These Portuguese teams, the Benficas, the Portos, the Sporting Lisbon, they've got techie footballers, man. And we just can't win on penalties, and that's the way cookie crumbles. I can't remember the actual last time I've seen Arsenal in a penalty shootout, especially at the Emirates as well. I don't think it's ever happened at the Emirates. And look, that's the way it goes. We lose to Sporting Lisbon on penalties. I'm sure the other Europa League teams will be absolutely punching the air right now because one of the favourites has been knocked out, especially those United fans. And overall, it's just not a good day. We've lost players to injuries as well. Saliba, Tomiyasu are two that have got injured. Who knows? Hopefully that it's not long injuries, especially the Saliba one. That kind of came out of nowhere. He was just holding his back and he got taken off. I hope that's not too deep because we need him back. But we're out. We're out of the Europa League. I did not see it coming. Honestly, let me know. Let me know in the live chat your thoughts on the game because I did not see this coming. I honestly thought leading up to the match, especially when I saw that lineup, I was like, we got this, man. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko's playing. Got Jorginho, Xhaka. We got Jesus back in the team. I was thinking confident, man. I was thinking we're looking good. And to be fair, we didn't start the game well. The first 10-15 minutes was all Sporting Lisbon. But then we grew into the match. We got a goal from Xhaka. And after that, we started to really dictate tempo and take a foothold in that first half. Then in the second half, we also had to take Jesus off at half time. We got forced into that substitution because both Tomiyasu and both Saliba had to get taken off injured separately. And we only had one more opportunity to make a sub. I understand that we were meant to actually take Jesus off around the 60th to 70th minute. But because the way it's gone and because we only had one more bracket to make substitutions, we were forced to take him off at half time. And in that second half, we folded. We lost all structure. We had zero ball retention. Sporting Lisbon were given license to run through our whole midfield. The whole midfield had license. We could not get a hold of that football. We were getting dominated on our own patch by a Portuguese team that are like fourth in their league. I didn't get it. I did not get it one bit. They were running riot. And then they scored, deservedly so. And this has been coming this season. Because you lot don't understand yet. This halfway line goal that he scored, it's a brilliant goal. I'm not going to take anything away from him. It's inch perfect, unbelievable goal. But that has been coming to us because Ramsdale's done that a lot this season. It's not his fault because Arteta tells him to do that. And it works because a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, he uses it for sweeper clearances and we need that to happen. But on these one-off chances, when he's off his line, things like that happen. A halfway line goal, inch perfect strike, technical brilliance to score that goal. And it's 1-1, deservedly so. And Sporting Lisbon had all the momentum. Arteta makes the subs. He can't bring Odegaard on because he's only got 2 subs left. After what's happened with all the injuries, he chooses Partey and Saka. Saka was non-existent in that second half when he got brought on. Non-existent. Partey kind of did add some steel, to be fair. Big up to him for that. But Saka, we did not get him in the game enough. Martinelli, not in the game enough, man. Not enough of our key players were in the game. Either way, it ends the game full time. Not what I wanted to see. And now it's extra time. You don't want to play extra football, especially when we've got a game on Sunday against Crystal Palace. A massive game to try and win the Premier League and try and continue our title charge. And then what happens? Why does Arteta wait to bring Odegaard on? I'm not one to take digs at Arteta because honestly, he's been manager of the season so far. But if you don't understand this, please let me know. Why does he wait 10 minutes to bring Odegaard on? As soon as the game goes to extra time and you're given that extra substitution, you swap Vieira for Odegaard instantly. You don't even let Vieira get back on the pitch for extra time. Instantaneously, you bring Odegaard on. That's your captain. That's your maestro. That's who you bring on when you need to create a goal. But no, he waits. I don't get why he's waiting. It makes no sense to me. What was Vieira doing on the pitch to justify him staying in that starting 11 and staying on the pitch when we were chasing a goal in extra time? It made absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Odegaard does come on and we actually start to tick. We start to create something. And the chance of the season falls to Leandro Trossard. You could not ask for a better chance. Literally, Sporting Lisbon, their only mistake all game, they give the ball away. It goes straight through to Trossard. He's through on goal. He can shoot either side, right or left. and he kicks it basically straight at the keeper. It's a good save, don't get me wrong, and it cannons off the post. But you got to be doing better in that situation, man. Like, it's Trossard's first properly Europa League game, or his first Europa League tie, because obviously he's been at Brighton, who don't really involve themselves in the Europa League. I'm not sure if he played there with Ghent, but he's through on goal, man. Trossard, you've got to do better, bro. We can talk about penalties, but that is a gilt-edged chance. That is a chance that you want to fall to Trossard, and he missed it. Plain and simple, he missed it. It's a gilt-edged opportunity. You can't miss those type of chances. And he does. And then at 1-1, we're chasing the game. Sporting Lisbon are still playing well. They're still making tactical fouls in the right places. They got Odegaard sent off for what was the worst challenge I've ever seen in my life on Bukayo Saka. Completely took out Saka, and it goes to penalties. And when it goes to penalties, it's in God's hands. It's literally in God's hands then. I thought, you know what? At the Emirates, we've got the home crowd behind us. We can win this penalty shootout. But we lose 2 coin tosses in a row. First, the penalty shootout's in the clock end, meaning the Sporting Lisbon fans in front of them. Secondly, we take penalties second. Now, those of you that have watched football a lot and understand the type of psychological impact of a penalty shootout, you always want to take first. Because the team that takes first more often than not wins the penalty shootout. It's just a psychological thing. Being able to kick first is more pressure on you when you're taking second in the penalty shootout. Sporting Lisbon take first, and a fair play to them. I can't even lie, they took good penalties, bro. They can't. And that's why I said I don't want to come up against these Portuguese teams, man. They're techie. Every single player in those Portuguese teams are technical. They know how to take penalties. Why couldn't we come up against some Nax team, man? Why do you have to come up against penalties against Sporting Lisbon? I don't like it. We got a comment coming in here, live chat. Keep yours coming in as well. Penalty shootout, anything can happen. Exactly. It's a penalty shootout. Anything can happen, man. Like, it could be a penalty shootout against a League 2 side. It's what it is. It's 5 kicks to the ball. If you're a professional footballer, you can score a penalty. It's just whether you're able to do it on the night. And Sporting Lisbon, fair play to them. They got their penalties. They played a brilliant game overall. They came to the Emirates. They were underdogs. They drew at home. They probably would have wanted a little bit more from that game. They came to the Emirates, not really anyone really expecting them to get anything, given Arsenal were not only favourites in this tie, favourites to win the whole Europa League. And they cleaned up. They played a beautiful game. They came to the Emirates. They didn't just hang on. They played well. That second half, they dominated us, and they deservedly got through. Fair play to them. The only thing I can say is, man, like, regarding this, without the Europa League, obviously it's a shock to us. It's a shock to everyone. It's a competition that a lot of us want to win. But maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe there is. Maybe this just goes to show less games. We just got to focus on this Premier League now, man. Like, it's Premier League or bust. It's Premier League or bust for us. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that when we lost to Man City in the FA Cup, I came on this channel and I said, look, it's the FA Cup. It's not that big of a deal. We focused on the league. Then we went on to lose again to Everton. Then we drew to Brentford. Then we lost to Man City. So the kind of repercussions of losing in the FA Cup caused that. Hopefully this doesn't happen now. The good thing is, after Crystal Palace, who arguably is the easiest team to play in the league right now, we've got an international break that can give the team some time off, and they can come back, and then it's only Premier League. So I'm a positive thinker. I'm an optimist overall. That's how I'm going to look at it. We got out the Europa League, yes, but we've got an international break after Crystal Palace. Then at least the team know they've got one opportunity and they've got one thing on their minds. It's Premier League or bust. Some more comments coming through. Sporting played so much better. They deserved it. 100%. Madalena, 100% agree. I think Sporting in that second half were unbelievable. Unbelievable. We couldn't get near them. We got dominated on our own patch. And it's happened a lot this season. I feel like at home, we're worse than we are away. And I'm not too sure why. Sporting, their manager's good, man. Their manager is good. Like, he set them up perfectly. They were fighting. They were aggressive. They were winning every second ball. They knew what they were doing. They were running back in transition. They were counter-attacking well. They knew exactly what to do because they know Zinchenko vacates that left-hand side. They were pinging balls over the left-hand side every single time, and we couldn't stop them. And they had chances. They scored a wonder goal. They took the opportunity, and they won on penalties. A perfect European performance for them. However, Arsenal is still on their way to win the Premier League. That's my hope, man. That is my hope. Because, look, although we lost here today on to Sporting Lisbon, it means we're only hope is the Premier League. Because we've had all this talk about, Thursday, Sunday. None of that now. It is purely Premier League for us. That is our only mindset. We have to win this Premier League. They go into training for the next Premier League game. Every game, Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. You have to win this Premier League now, man. You're not in any other competition. 11 finals left. 11 matches of football to win this Premier League Arsenal Football Club. I don't want anything else. The unbelievable goal from Lisbon, big surprise, 1-1. It is a surprise. I don't think anyone was really expecting Arsenal to get knocked out here. I definitely wasn't. I thought we'd go through, to be completely honest. I thought we'd clean up. I thought we'd go through. Thank you very much. On to the next round. But no. And I have to say, well done, Sporting Lisbon. I'm disappointed, I am. But also, I'm an optimist. I've always been an optimist. We got knocked out the Carabao Cup. I said it's not the end of the world. We focus on the Premier League. Got knocked out the Carabao Cup. The FA Cup, not the end of the world. We focus on the Premier League. We get knocked out the Europa League now. I'm hoping it doesn't have repercussions. We have to bounce back against Crystal Palace. But then we focus on the Premier League. That is our only mission now. All those boys locked in for the Premier League. And to be fair, at full time, they didn't look too distraught. Like, I was looking at the players and Saka was like smiling. Like, he wasn't smiling, obviously, because he got knocked down a penalty shootout. But the players didn't have their heads in their hands like this. Like, they seemed kind of all right with it, which just goes to show probably that mentally this wasn't really the main focus for them, which isn't right. Don't get me wrong. We should be focused on every competition. And there's a lot of Arsenal fans, myself included, that would have loved to see this team win the Europa League, given I haven't seen us win a European competition ever, not in my lifetime. I mean, I was alive for the 2006 Champions League final, but I don't remember it. I was 4 years old. What do I remember? I haven't seen my team go anywhere. I've still got the heartache from Baku 4 years ago. So I want to see us do something in this competition. That's the way it goes. In Europe, we just seem to have some kind of stigma that we can't get over. Dildo Gaggis goes, I'm so sad. Look, it's a sad day, man. For me, it's feeling like Al Arabi. Arsenal fan, do you remember Olympiacos, Al Arabi? Oh my days, what a day that was when we got knocked out there. It's feeling like that a bit, but it's the way it goes, man. It's the way it goes. Obviously, it's penalties. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, man. Penalties, I can't get too annoyed. Obviously, Martinelli missed the penalty. Is what it is. I'm more worried about how the team played during the actual football minutes. Because on penalties, anything can happen. But during the actual football play time, 90 minutes in extra time, that's when I'm going to have a look at the team. Scott Kirk goes, Vieira should have come off at halftime. He is dreadful. When Odegaard came on, you see the difference. I agree, man. I 100% agree. When extra time started, obviously he couldn't make an extra sub during the game because of what happened with the injuries. You only allowed 3 blocks to make the sub. Vieira for halftime, potentially, I think it would have been a little harsh given we are still 1-0 up at halftime. But as soon as extra time starts, you bring on Odegaard for Vieira. You don't need to wait 10 minutes to justify that decision. Like, you don't need to rest Odegaard for 10 more minutes. Or give Vieira 10 more minutes to justify himself staying on the pitch. He was on the pitch for 90 minutes. He did nothing. Get off the pitch. Odegaard comes on as soon as extra time starts, in my opinion. You give that brother 30 minutes to make something happen in that extra time, not 20 minutes. It is what it is, man. I think Arteta messed up there. Next comment coming in. Man, you are winning the treble. Hey, potentially, man. Potentially. I don't think they're winning the Premier League. I can't lie to you lot. But Europa League, yes. FA Cup, potentially they could win. And of course, they've already won the Carabao Cup. Who knows, man? The team looked tired in the second half. Look, to be honest, I think you're right. The team did look a bit jaded in that second half. Even extra time as well. I think extra time is the worst possible thing. Because we've got a game on Sunday now. And how's the team going to be? Thankfully, it's Crystal Palace at home. I don't want to speak too soon because we saw what happened against Bournemouth at home. It became a hard game. But, of course, Crystal Palace, they have yet to win a game in 2023. It is probably, let's be honest, one of the easiest games you can play. Crystal Palace at home. Vieira as well, hopefully just does us a favour. Arsenal invincible legend. Just tell him, look, Patrick, we know you're in trouble, but we need the points more than you, geezer. Roll over and die for us. So thankfully we got that. Then we've got an international break. An international break is either the best thing or the worst thing to happen. Honestly, because it either kills your momentum or gives you some time off to start fresh. For us, it could be the best thing to happen. Honestly, guys, I think this... Honestly, I would have preferred if the international break happened now. If we didn't play on the weekend. I want the international break to happen now so we can... let the players go off on their international duty, come back, and then we come back with fresh objectives where it's Premier League or bust. We don't come back from the international break thinking, right, we've got Leeds, then we've got Europa League, then we've got Liverpool. Oh, then we've got Europa League again. We've got to jet off to this place and that place. No, none of that. It's Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. One game a week. We go to training for the next Premier League game. We train for Leeds. We train for Liverpool. We train for West Ham. We train for Southampton. It's like that. It's none of this training for Europa League matches anymore. It is only Premier League. That's the silver lining I've got from this. Any news on Tomiyasu and Saliba? I'm not too sure. I think the Tomiyasu one's worse than the Saliba one. I've seen it in real time. I think Tomiyasu, he kind of did the splits. So I think he could be a while out. Saliba I'm worried about. But it did look like it was a precaution because he was just holding his back a little bit. It wasn't like it was any type of fire or anything. It was his back. Maybe he's been carrying Arsenal too much. So he hurt his back in that sense. But I don't think he'll be too much out. And he needs to rush back now because we've got a massive game on Sunday. But yeah, overall, man, Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League knocked out Arsenal. Knocked out on penalties. Not what the sight any of us wanted to see. But that's the way it goes. Like, I know we're going to be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I did not want to get knocked out to Sporting Lisbon. I didn't want to get out the Europa League. I honestly think this is a competition we could win. But for some reason in Europe, we just crumble. What is it with Arsenal in Europe? We haven't won a European competition. We haven't won the Champions League. What is it with us in Europe? We can't seem to play well. Every season, we're the best team in Europe, potentially. We're top of the Premier League, the hardest league in the world. Yet we fold to Sporting Lisbon over 2 legs. We had 2 opportunities and we couldn't beat them in either leg. I don't get it. We've got a stigma in the Europa League, got a stigma in the Champions League. We can't win these European competitions. It is what it is. A lot of Arsenal fans would have wanted the double. I hear you. I do hear you big time. You wanted the double. It's the way the cookie crumbles, man. It's the way the cookie crumbles. We're out. We've got to focus on the Premier League. Because if we win that Premier League, best believe not a single Arsenal fan's going to be talking about, oh, we got knocked out the Europa League to Sporting Lisbon. They're going to be celebrating because we won the Premier League. Let's be completely honest. And if you look at it from a pure simplistic mindset, I know the football purists want to be in every competition. They want to win every game. They want to win every trophy. You want to do the quadruple every season. I get it. That's football purists. But we already saw 2 injuries today with Tomiyasu and Saliba. We have not got the squad to play Thursday, Sunday. Plain and simple, we haven't. It's a silver lining getting knocked out. That's the way I have to look at it. I don't want to get knocked out, but I have to. We've been knocked out now. I have to look at it with a positive spin. It's a silver lining. I just hope this doesn't have repercussions. We can't now happen what happened after we lost the FA Cup to Man City. We can't now go on to lose to Crystal Palace. Then again, drop points later down in the Premier League as well. Just like what happened when we lost to Man City in the FA Cup. We dropped points to Everton, Brentford, Man City. Not like that whatsoever. Sadly, the squad depth is not there yet. I'm disappointed, but we move on, mate. Exactly. The squad depth is not there. We can't compete on all these fronts. I mean, we saw our 3 main players were missing in the starting 11. Xhaka, Odegaard, and Partey, and the drop-off was there. It was so apparent, especially in that second half. Like, we got dogged by Sporting Lisbon on our own ground. At the Emirates, they came and they out-footballed us. It's one thing if they defend well, like other teams on the Emirates, but Sporting Lisbon out-footballed us. They played better on us in that second half. That can't happen, especially at your own pitch. A team like Arsenal that have been trained and playing some of the most beautiful football in the league, we got out-footballed by a team that's 4th in the Portuguese league. It shouldn't happen by any stretch of the imagination. The squad depth needs to improve. We will make Champions League next season, bar a complete and utter collapse. So hopefully we can go and sign some top players, but we need the squad depth to compete, especially the likes of Man City, etc. Who will replace Saliba? That's the big question. I mean, it was going to have to be Rob Holding, right? If he's out. I do still hope Saliba will be back for Crystal Palace, and I am confident he will be back. It seemed like a precaution to take him off rather than actually him being injured. I think Tomiyasu was worse than Saliba's, but if it is, I guess it's Holding that's coming back. Maybe your problem is the biggest league, blah, blah, blah. Most overrated league, just relying on money from Arab investors, always choosing to disrespect other European clubs, Farmers League. Okay, look, Samuel, you might have got me wrong here. I'm not saying that Sporting Lisbon are a bad side. Not by any means. They showed today they are a good side. But the Premier League is the toughest league in the world. No one can dispute that. It's the toughest league in the world. Arsenal have shown they are a good football team. We were favourites to win this Europa League. Plain and simple. We've played immaculate football this season. We should not be losing to Sporting Lisbon at home. We shouldn't. We shouldn't be losing to any team at home, let alone Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon, they came and they played well. No disrespect. I wish them all the best for the rest of the Europa League competition. They played brilliantly in that second half. They scored a wonder goal from the halfway line, and they did their job. But this is on us. Because at the end of the day, if we play to our best ability, if we played like we played against Fulham on the weekend, we win this match. Plain and simple. Sporting Lisbon won today because they played immaculate, and we didn't play well. They're included in that because obviously the way they played meant we couldn't get into our style. Arteta making certain changes like not including Odegaard, Xhaka, Partey from the get-go helped. But we didn't perform to the best of our ability. It is what it is. We're out the Europa League now. It's the way the cookie crumbles. We have to take it on the chin. We move on. We've got Crystal Palace, then we've got an international break, and it is Premier League or bust. Keep the comments coming. I want to see them. What's your thoughts on this match? I guess I should talk about the penalties, because obviously it did happen, the penalties. Was I confident going into it? I'm always confident with this club. I'm always confident that we'll do something. We're on good form. But it's the way it goes, man. I saw the way Sporting Lisbon was taking those penalties. And I was like, oh, this could get a long day. The first penalty they took was perfect. Right into the top corner, their first penalty. Their second penalty was better. And then their third penalty, Ramsdale should have done better. He got a hand to it, but he pushed it into the net, man. Those are the fine margins. Our first 3 penalties were really good. Then it came out to Martinelli, and he's always that short run-up with Martinelli, man, and just awful penalty right at the keeper. It's saved. It is what it is, man. It is. I'm not going to belittle Martinelli for it. He's a young boy still. No Arsenal fan should really start slagging off Martinelli for that. It's a penalty. Anything can happen, man. Ronaldo will miss a penalty. Anyone can miss a penalty in football. It's the way it goes. I'm not going to dispute the team for losing on penalties. I'm going to dispute them for not winning during the 90 minutes or 120 minutes if you count extra time. That's where my problem is with the team. They didn't do enough during normal time and especially during extra time as well. We didn't do enough to win the game. The penalties is one thing. Penalties, it happens. It's Fugazi. It's penalties. Anything can happen. It is what it is. I thought Xhaka had a good game, but him and Jorginho together is too slow. I agree. Jorginho and Xhaka together is not a good mix, man. There's not enough mobility in that midfield. We need Partey in there. Because as soon as Partey came on, we actually started to gain some assurance in that midfield. Now, that could be down to the part that Sporting Lisbon actually started to back off a little bit once they realised Arsenal were going in for the kill. And we started to actually wake up and go, hold on a minute. We're getting demolished on our own turf. We need to step up and try and win this football match. But overall, Xhaka and Jorginho, it's not enough, especially Vieira next to him, because Vieira isn't exactly an energizer bunny that's going to run around the pitch like Odegaard. When Odegaard came on, he actually started to run around, like he was trying to lift the crowd and everything, chasing down loose balls. He's someone that's going to do that. Vieira doesn't do that. There's not enough mobility in that midfield three for me. Vieira, Xhaka, Jorginho were not doing enough. They were getting outclassed in that Sporting Lisbon midfield. I can't remember the guy's name. He got sent off right at the end for a horror challenge on Sancar. He was good, man. That guy, like, he was cleaning up for them, getting all the loose balls. He played really, really well. And what surprised me is that Sporting Lisbon team had a lot of young players in there. They had a lot of teenagers. So big up to them, man. Like, the Portuguese league, make no mistake about it, they produce some wonder kids. They really do. I mean, Mateus Nunes has gone to Wolves. João Paulinho has gone to Fulham. They produce some good players, man, this Sporting Lisbon team. Big up to them. Wish them all the best in the rest of the competition. Manchester United fans are going to be clowning us all day long because now they would have been worried to get in Arsenal. They honestly would have been, because they're probably thinking, oh, Arsenal, I don't want them. No team wanted Arsenal. We are the team we want to avoid. When the names get drawn out the hat tomorrow, or out the balls get drawn out, every team's thinking, not Arsenal, not Arsenal, not Arsenal. Hang on a minute. They're thinking, oh, no, hang on a minute. Arsenal aren't in there anymore. We've got a good chance now. That's the way it goes, man. In Europe, that's what happens. But like I said, I'm an optimist. Would you rather get knocked out in the last 16 or knocked out in the final? Obviously, you'd say the final for the journey. But if you really think about it, if you get knocked out in the final, it's the same result as getting knocked down in the round of 16. You still don't win the competition, but you played 6 more matches to get you there, or 5 more matches to get you there. It's the way it goes. We're knocked out now. Our task is simple. We've got tunnel vision on this Premier League. It's like almost to say you're doing your GCSEs or your A-levels. You haven't got maths and physics and economics and chemistry and biology to worry about. You've got one subject. You got one subject to worry about. That's your only exam. And for us, our only exam is the Premier League now. We ain't got any other side quests. Got no other competitions. These other players, if they don't touch the field for the rest of the season, your fault. You had your chance in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and Europa League. It's fine. We're now focused on this Premier League, and that is it. You have to now fight for the Premier League seriously. Exactly. And to be fair, we have. I can't hate the team. We've been taking this Premier League super seriously, but now it literally is Premier League or bust. Because if we finish second, a lot of Arsenal fans were talking about, oh, if we finish second but win the Europa League, would you be happy with that? And some Arsenal fans were like, you know what? I'd take that. For me, I always wanted to win this Premier League. I would have sacrificed the Europa League every single day of the week to win this Premier League. Well, now plain and simple is we're out of every competition. The only competition we can win is the Premier League. That is it. We can't win any other competition. So we have to narrow in and try to win this Premier League now. That's the way it has to go. And we're fighting for it. And I can't fault the team. Because honestly, they have been fighting for this Premier League. It's been an immaculate season. It's been a rollercoaster season, but I've loved it. I've actually loved watching this season. Like every game, I'm recording them on Sky to watch it after. Like today, I rewatched the Arsenal Man United game because I really enjoyed watching. I've really enjoyed Arsenal this season. I think it's going to be a hell of a season, but now we're locked in. We have to win this Premier League. I'm concerned that KT did not get a start again. I think Arteta doesn't rate Kieran Tierney at all. Him and Smith Rowe, Arteta does not rate whatsoever. I think he loves having Zinchenko as an extra body in midfield, and he realizes Kieran Tierney can't do that job. It's kind of like Nketiah and Jesus, right? Like Nketiah and Jesus are different players. They're different type of strikers, but they play the same position. Zinchenko is a different type of player to Tierney. Tierney is not someone that's going to run into midfield and provide an extra body. No. He's someone that's going to be a left back that's going to overlap. That's Kieran Tierney's job. If you try and get Kieran Tierney to play like Zinchenko, you're not playing well. Like, he ain't going to be able to do that job. So I think he just prefers Zinchenko. I really could see Kieran Tierney leaving in the summer. Equally, Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, we've all talking about, oh, we can't wait till Smith Rowe's back from his injury. Yeah, he's back now. He ain't playing. And I see why. I don't think Arteta rates Smith Rowe. Because I think he sees Smith Rowe. I think he wants touchline wingers. Because I watched clips, and for example, when Trossard played his first game for us against Aston Villa, I believe, Arteta was shouting at him, stay wide, stay wide. He wants his wingers to be touchline wingers. He wants them to be chalk on their boots as far wide as possible. That's not Smith Rowe's game. Smith Rowe wants to drift inside into that half space in between where the striker and the winger would be. And he doesn't rate him. He doesn't blame him. He chose to start Reece Nelson over Smith Rowe. The right decision for me. It says a lot, really. So I can really see Kieran Tierney and Smith Rowe leaving at the end of the season. Arsenal out. Yeah, Arsenal are out. That's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles, man. Not every team's going to win the Europa League. There's only going to be one winner at the end of it, and it's not Arsenal. Best of luck to Sporting Lisbon. They played a hell of a game. Big up to them. Yeah, I think ESR will leave. I think so too. I think Emil Smith-Rowe will leave. It's a shame because obviously he's an academy player. He's got the number 10 shirt, but his injuries have held him back. Yes, I agree, but he hasn't taken his game to the next heights. And people can say, oh, he was almost our top scorer last season. He was scoring for fun. I agree, but I don't want to be harsh, but I'm going to be quite harsh right now. He was our top scorer in a side that missed out on Champions League. This season, with him not in the team or not featuring at all, we're now challenging for the league. So are we really missing him? Let's be completely honest right now. Are we really missing Emil Smith-Rowe? No, we're not. So if he leaves in summer, I'll be disappointed because obviously he's a Halen graduate and everything. But I won't be sobbing or anything like that. I won't be crying to see Smith-Rowe go. I'll say, you know what? Fair play. Edu, get some money for this geezer though, man. You sold Bernardo for like 5 million. Smith-Rowe, I'm winning at least 40 million for Smith-Rowe. Still 22 years old, still proven he can play in the Premier League and a really good footballer, just not an Arteta type player. I think we can cash in and spend that money on other positions, just like Kieran Tierney, and sign some other players. Luke KFC says Arteta out. Come on, bro. Come on. You can't say Arteta out, man. Don't be reactionary like this. I mean, for me, he made a couple of bad decisions. For example, not subbing on Odegaard as soon as extra time started. But we're top of the league, mate. We're top of the league. No one would have thought that at the start of the season. You can't say Arteta out. I think the Portuguese clubs produce the best talents. Honestly, I would not be surprised. Benfica, they sold Enzo Fernandez for 120 million, Nunes for 80 million. They might get some more for that Portuguese brother that scored a hat-trick at the World Cup. Sporting Lisbon here today. Obviously, João Paulino, Mateus Nunes have got good money for them. They produce some good players, man. Like these Portuguese sides, they produce some technically gifted footballers. That's why I didn't want to go up against penalties against them. As soon as I saw it go to penalties, I was like, not Sporting Lisbon, man. These Portuguese teams produce good footballers, like good technically gifted footballers. That's why players like Fabio Vieira did so well in there. They're not muscular teams. They're not going to beat you up or anything, but they know how to play football. They know how to get the job done in penalties. Agree, it's his injury problems that are concerning, and I get Jake vibes. I don't get the Jake vibes reference, to be honest, but the injury concerns, I get you. With Smith-Rowe, injury concerns. And I honestly think on top form, does he get into this Arsenal starting 11? No. But I feel like, would he want that, given that he started a lot of games last season? I don't think so, because Odegaard has to start. He's been our best player this season, arguably. Saka starts, and it's either Trossard or Martinelli for that left wing. And then he's not going to play him striker because Jesus is there. So I don't think Smith-Rowe gets into this team. It is what it is. Portuguese comment coming in here. I don't speak Portuguese, my friend. I'm sorry, but if you're a Sporting Lisbon fan, big up to you lot. You played very well. Honestly, one of the best teams come to the Emirates and play. Not a lot of the teams can say they're beating us at the Emirates. You've done so. I wish you the best in the rest of the competition, my friend. Oh, you meant Jack. Oh, yeah, Jack Wilshere. I get you. Jack Wilshere, obviously, Bula got injured, held him back. A lot of players, though, like even Abu Diaby, he had a lot of injury problems. He looked like a great talent one day. Eduardo broke his leg, etc. It runs in the Arsenal DNA, apparently. A lot of injuries, taking away some star talents. But who knows, man? I do think Smith-Rowe will have a part to play the rest of the season. I don't think his time is up for now, but I would not be surprised if he does go at the end of this season, to be completely honest, man, because he didn't even see the field once today. We're saying, Smith-Rowe back from injury. He ain't doing much when he comes back. It is what it is. 11 finals left. 11 finals left, boys and girls. We're out the Europa League. Yes, we are. It is what it is. We now focus on the Premier League. The top teams now, though. This is what I want to see from Arsenal, because last season, when we lost the game, we did not bounce back. We lost to Crystal Palace. We go on to lose to Brighton and Southampton. We lost to United. We lose to Everton. We've not shown bounce back ability. This season, it's happened again. We lost to City in the FA Cup. We went on to lose to Brentford. We went on to lose to Everton, draw to Brentford, and lose to Man City. We lost, or we didn't win in 4 consecutive matches. We're doing so well this season, but in 4 matches, our season derailed a little bit. It was a bit of a blip because we got back on track. Now we need to be a top team, because top teams bounce back instantly. They stop the bleeding straight away. They lose a game, fine, it happens. Every team loses a match. It's very, very hard to go invincible. Very hard. But they stop the bleeding instantly. Next game, they put it right. They go and they smash the next team 4-0. We need to go against Crystal Palace and smash them. Smash them to bits and show that it's a blip. It is what it is. We lost in the Europa League, it happens. We need to smash that next team. Who so far has been the best player for Arsenal? It's a good question. Very good question, John. I think, for me, it's Odegaard. Odegaard, for me, has been the best player for Arsenal. We missed him today. I've said this on previous reactions on this channel, man. And make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, guys, because I react to every single Arsenal game. I review every single Arsenal game and also keep up with news regarding the club on my way to 2,000 subscribers. When we don't have Odegaard in the team, we miss him. When Odegaard plays well, good things happen. Have you noticed that? Whenever we win a game, it's because Odegaard's involved. He literally is our maestro. I love this guy to bits, man. He picks, when Odegaard goes missing, more often than not, we lose the football match. You need to get your ball players involved on the football. They are the artists. They are the maestros of the team. They are the Leonardo da Vinci's, the Michelangelos of the football team. You need to get them on the football. You need to give them the football and let them cook. You give them the ball, you give them space, you give them time, and you let them do magical things. When Odegaard's not involved with the play, bad things happen. But not only do I love Odegaard because of that, I love him also because he has the other side of his game, the pressing. Odegaard is not the same technical ability as Messi, do not get me wrong. But players like Messi, for example, they don't really contribute defensively. Ozil never used to contribute defensively, but a lot of Arsenal fans would let him off because he will do things offensively. You won't, it's fine if he doesn't press because he'll do things for us in an attacking sense, conserve his energy. That's not Odegaard whatsoever. He presses. He puts in the hard yards defensively, despite the fact that he is our offensive engine. He probably runs the most out of all Arsenal players. And for that, I love. That is why he deserves to be captain. Because he runs. He doesn't just run when it's attacking. He runs when he's defending as well. He always the first to lift the crowd as well. I love this guy to bits, man. Honestly, he's a role model. And I love that about him. And we missed him today when he wasn't starting, to be completely honest. And in response here, John White, I don't know, Partey or Odegaard. I mean, good options. Odegaard for me, Partey's in there. Saliba's an option, honestly. Saka's been brilliant this season as well. Some really top players. Ramsdale has come up big for us. Zinchenko as well. I love this guy, Zinchenko, man. Like, he's actually brought a winning mentality. Obviously, he wasn't fit towards the start of the season a bit, but I love what he's doing. He's brought a winning mentality. And when he's on the pitch sometimes, it's like we've got 12 men on the pitch. Like, he turns up right wing, turns up left wing, centre mid, left back. It's like his twin brothers on the pitch. I can't believe what I'm seeing from Zinchenko sometimes. Really good from him as well. Arteta needs to make a strong squad after not winning the first one, lacking experience. We need a strong team. We need to upgrade this team in the summer. I think the cup competitions have shown that we do need to upgrade this squad because we're top of the table, so we are a good football team. No one can say Arsenal are not good at football, but we're not going far in cup competitions because our squad depth isn't good enough. That's what it goes to show. Because despite Man City being top of the table or being below us, they always seem to go far in cup competitions because they've got a good squad. I want us to sign some top players in the summer. We will make Champions League, barring a complete and utter collapse. We will make Champions League football next season. No excuse. Splash the cash. Because if we don't, we could happen what happens to Liverpool, where we get a couple of injuries. Odegaard gets injured for the season, ACL. God forbid, knock wood, it doesn't happen. But say Odegaard gets knocked out, gets ACL injury, out for the rest of the season next season. Saka, same thing. Partey, same thing. Our season's done. Our season well and truly could be done. So we need to sign some competent backup. We need to take advantage this summer. If we finish top or second, I don't know where we'll finish. God willing, we finish top of the league. If we do, or if we finish second, sign some players. Sign some top players as well. I want us to start building a super team. A team that can compete with Man City and compete in multiple competitions. I don't want Odegaard to not be on the pitch and me thinking, bring Odegaard on, bring Odegaard on, bring Odegaard on. I don't want Saka to be on the bench and me thinking, bring Saka on, bring Saka on, bring Saka on. I want competent replacements that can still do just enough for this team and win them football matches. I don't want me begging for Arsenal to bring on subs when we're drawing or losing. I want us to have top players in all positions in this football team because that is how you go far in cup competitions. We are a brilliant football team. We've played the best football this season. We've been the best team in the Premier League this season, but we're not going far in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, or Europa League because we haven't got the squad to compete. Plain and simple. Your cup competitions show you how good your squad is. It shows the disparity between our Premier League success and our cup success has highlighted the problem with our squad depth. Everyone can see it. It's clear and obvious. We need competent backups. Another comment coming in. Arsenal Vice said, Campeão 2023. Like I said, brother, I don't speak Portuguese, but if it says we're going to win the competition in 2023, I'm all for it. I want us to win the Premier League in 2023. Let's go. Next Arsenal games will determine the fate of Arsenal. I agree. I mean, there's 11 games left of the season, right? We've got Crystal Palace and Leeds at home. Well, Crystal Palace in the international break, then Leeds, then Liverpool away. For me, Liverpool away is a big, big game. I said it on my last reaction. Anfield away, honestly, is the big metric. It is the litmus test. No matter how bad or how good Liverpool play, Anfield away is a sticky, sticky game. If you win at Anfield away, you're going to win the league. I guarantee that. If we beat Liverpool at Anfield, we will win the Premier League. I promise you that. It's one of those games. Equally, if we lose at Anfield, it can derail your season. It can happen. It honestly can. We have to beat Liverpool at Anfield. We have to go with the mentality we can win. Liverpool will be worried, don't get me wrong, but they will have confidence as well. They absolutely whooped Man United 7-0. I know they lost 7-0, but don't think United are a bad team. United are a really good team. They're through to the next round of Europa League. They are a good football team, Manchester United. We beat them last second through Eddie Nketiah goal, and they made light work of United. They ripped them to pieces. Liverpool have the potential to really be a dangerous team. They have that potential. We have to go to Anfield and we have to get something. I've had too much heartbreak in that stadium. We need to get something at Anfield, man. I like Nelson, but he is not the answer. Been with Arsenal a while, and I think he should move on to better himself now. I feel you. I really do with Reece Nelson. To be fair, I was calling for him to start. He did enough. That game against Bournemouth, I think he played really well off the bench. I think he has got potential there. Is he going to be a match winner for us? I'm not too sure. The thing with Nelson, right, is I feel your point as in like he needs to move on because he's still a young player, but he's not like a Haaland graduate anymore. Like he's actually moved on to be a proper like footballer now. He's not really a kid anymore. So he's going to want game time. And I think if we want to challenge for the league and challenge on multiple fronts, on multiple competitions, we can't have Reece Nelson playing every game. For us, if we want to win the league and win the Champions League / Europa League, Reece Nelson needs to be in our Carabao Cup squad, not our European squad. Do you get me? And I don't think he would want to be in the Carabao Cup squad. I think, therefore, it probably is fair he moves on. And also, the left wing market is strong, man. There's some top candidates in left wing. Rafael Leao, for example, absolute baller playing in Milan. I'd love to have him to compete. We've already got Trossard there. We've got Martinelli there. Would Reece Nelson want to be a backup? Who knows, man? I thank him for good moments, but he's had heaps of chances. I get you. And look, to be fair, even if Reece Nelson does leave, but we do win the Premier League this season, he can always sit there and go, I potentially won Arsenal the Premier League with that goal against Bournemouth. In 50 years' time, he can be on his armchair with his grandkids and say, that was my goal, and show it to them on YouTube, on replay, saying, that was my goal in the 98th minute that potentially won Arsenal the league. It can happen, man. That's the way a Premier League season goes. You've got players that you never, ever thought would do anything, win you games. Reece Nelson's done that. So wherever about him, whether he leaves at the end of the season, whether he stays, thank him for his memories, man. And to be fair, when he's coming big time for us. Today, obviously, didn't have his best game, but when he has been here, when he has been asked to come in, he's done all right. He's played well, given it was against Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, not the best teams in the world, but he has done his job, man. I can't hate him too heavy for that. But 5 points in it between Arsenal and Man City. Let me know in the live chat, guys. Do you honestly believe Arsenal are going to win the league? Because I know a lot of people saying, oh, it's Arsenal. I feel confident. It does. The thing is, yeah, despite it being 5 points in the 11 games left, because let me be completely honest, 5 points with 11 matches left is nothing. We lost the top 4 place. We're in a 4-point gap to Tottenham with 3 games left. We've got 1 extra point on Man City, who are better than Tottenham, and there's like 7 more matches. Like, it just goes to show that there's a lot of things, there's a lot of time left, there's a lot of matches left. Do you think Arsenal are going to win the league? For me, it's less about the points. It's more about what I'm seeing from this team. Like, there's certain things you've seen this season. The last-minute goal against Aston Villa. The last-minute goal against Man United. The last-minute goal against Bournemouth. The way we completely demolished Fulham. The way Fulham were missing Paulinho for that game. It's just little moments of luck are seeming to go Arsenal's way. And I think that is what's kind of giving me the false impression that we're destined to win this league title. It's a false impression. There's not anything like that in life. It's not like the heavens have come down and said Arsenal winning the league title. But just little things I see give me that hope. But we still got to go to Anfield. We still got to go to the Etihad. In seasons gone by, that would be 6 points completely gone. We have to win those games if we want to win this league title. And it is in our hands. This reminds me of the importance of away goals. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's ironic because Arsene Wenger all these years was campaigning for away goals to go. He was campaigning saying, we don't need away goals. It's ancient. Away goals got scrapped. We would be through. We would be through right now if away goals didn't exist. Put that into perspective. It is what it is, though. It's not there. Both sets of fans, both sets of players, both sets of staff knew away goals weren't there. I'm not going to hate about it. Sporting Lisbon did their job today. It's not like they sat here and they hung on. They came to play football and they absolutely outplayed us. No hate whatsoever on Sporting Lisbon. That second half, unbelievable. Dispatched us. It's hard to predict now. It is very hard to predict what's going to happen in the Premier League this season. This Premier League season, honestly, is one of the best in recent seasons. It has to be. The Premier League title chase is a 2-horse race. Top 4, anything can happen. Europa League, anything can happen. Now, I haven't even touched on relegation. There's about 9 teams that are separated by 5 points for relegation right now. Anyone can go down. Anyone can stay up. The Premier League is the Super League. It literally is. It is so competitive, and I love it. I love it to bits. Prediction here. Let me know your prediction for who's going to win the Premier League, by the way. Arsenal 1, Man City 2, United 3, and Brighton 4. That's a surprise one. Brighton 4th. Hey, it could happen. That 4th position's up for grabs, man. Newcastle are kicking about. Tottenham obviously kicking about. Liverpool are hoping to make it, but they're a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. Brentford obviously are in and around there. Are Chelsea going to start to click? Who knows, man? It can go any way whatsoever. True Laguna in here saying very disappointing. Yes, my bro. It's one of those things. Make sure to check out True Guna after this. Get him on his way to 4,000 subscribers. He's almost there. Check him out after I finish this stream. Brilliant, brilliant Arsenal-related YouTuber as well. Very disappointing, bro. What can I say, man? Like, Sporting Lisbon came and they deserved to win. Let's be completely honest. They deserved it. I think we didn't play to the best of our abilities. And the sad thing is, because we are Arsenal, and that's not me being arrogant, by the way, but because we are Arsenal, who's played the best football this season, the best team in the Premier League, if we played to our ability, we beat any team. And we didn't. And we lost to Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal will have to get back-to-back wins as to boost confidence and overcome pressure from Man City. I do agree with this. And that's why I also said earlier on in this live stream, this international break could actually come at the best possible time for us, just to stop the bleeding. We have to beat Crystal Palace now, which I said arguably is probably one of the easiest matches you can get in the Premier League this season. Crystal Palace has been a bogey side for us in recent years. We drew to them 2-2 last season. I remember with Lacazette last minute. But they failed to win in 2023. They obviously haven't got the best confidence right now. So it is a game that we should win. Like, we should win. But we lost at Man City in the FA Cup. We followed up with losses to Everton, drew to Brentford, lost to Man City. We are a team that can't seem to bounce back. And top teams bounce back. They do. Whether they bounce back with a 1-0 win or a 6-0 win, they bounce back. We need to show that ability. We need to beat Crystal Palace and all will be forgotten. All will be forgotten. Because then we have an international break and we come back from an international break revitalized with one goal. With one goal in mind to win that Premier League trophy at all costs. None of this Thursday, Sunday, spitting out eggs in multiple baskets, Premier League or bust. Which I think honestly could be a blessing in disguise for this football club. I genuinely do believe so. Because we've shown already in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, our squad depth is thin. We can't afford to split our squad across multiple fronts. Already Tomiyasu injured. Already Saliba injured today. Erik ten Hag cursed us, man. This brother has to run his mouth. Why in that press conference are you talking about Arsenal? It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. Arteta, when he's in his press conferences, doesn't mention anything about other teams. And if he does, it's always compliments. And it's because he's been asked a question. They might ask, oh, what do you think about Brentford? Oh, they're playing well. What do you think about Man City? Oh, brilliant. Why is it every other team loves to talk about Arsenal? Jurgen Klopp talking about Arsenal. Pep Guardiola saying, oh, we aren't Arsenal. We can't win the 90th minute. Now Erik ten Hag talking about, oh, Arsenal have got their squad always available. No, we haven't, mate. Jesus has been out for about 6 months. Thomas Partey has been injured at times. Zinchenko's missed a lot of games. Those are 3 of arguably our best players. We on about our squad's always available. It's not my fault Casemiro's ration dives into every challenge and gets red cards left, right, centre. Like, these man, other teams love to talk about Arsenal. I don't get it. Like, Arteta is so respectful. He doesn't mention any other teams. Yet all these other teams are trying to derail Arsenal. Stay out of it, bro. Like, worry about your own team, man. It is what it is, man. Got 2 injuries now. Hopefully they're back. Hopefully they're back fit. And also, I do think there's a correlation between teams performing well and getting less injuries. Like, they're desperate to get back. Like, look at Jesus. He was hungry to get back on the football pitch. It's no surprise his Liverpool players are baking off. You think Diaz wants to come back to Liverpool right now? No chance, man. This Liverpool team's getting grilled. He's enjoying his annual leave. He's enjoying getting paid to sit on the bench or sit in the treatment room. But when your team's firing, when your team's chasing the league title, everyone wants to be ready. Everyone wants to be fit. They push themselves that extra yard to get back on that football pitch. So you can talk about, oh, injuries here, injuries there. These Arsenal players don't want to get injured. Mentally, they're locked in. That's contributing to why we're getting less injuries. Obviously, some injuries are unavoidable. The nasty challenge, muscular injury, it happens. But the fact we're getting less, I think it is contributed by the fact that we're playing really good football and the team's locked in mentally. I think it does attribute to that a little bit. Triggered with another comment, Sporting deserve to win. I agree, my friend. I completely agree. I think they played really well this game. I think they deserved it. I think in that second half especially, they started the game really well. Then we scored and they started to back off and they looked a bit nervous. That is when the top team's going for the kill. I mean, we saw Man City. They drew their away leg to RB Leipzig. At home, completely wiped the floor with Leipzig. Completely wiped the floor of them. And why? Because they got 1 goal. It was a penalty. I'll be real. It's an arguable whether it was a penalty or not. I think it was a very dodgy penalty. Either way, they got the penalty. They then made it 2-0, 3-0 at half-time, game over. 4, 5, 6, 7. Haaland scored 5 goals. With us, we scored 1 goal. We had the ascendancy. We had the momentum. We failed to score 2. Failed to score 2, 3, 4. Went into half-time 1-0. Come out the second half, and Sporting Lisbon look revitalised. They look re-energized, and they go on to get a draw. and then win on penalties. Top teams take their chances. Top teams end football matches when you've got momentum. You go in for the kill. You don't give them a sniff. When you're on top, you kill that game. Think about Liverpool in seasons gone by. When Liverpool won the league, they didn't dominate matches from minute 1 to 90. That was Man City's job. What Liverpool did is they blitz teams. They let teams get tired. They let teams have a little lapse in concentration. And in 5-10 minutes, the game was gone. Like that. Salah Mane on the score sheet. Game over. Finish. 2-3-0 Liverpool. Wrapped up. Time to go home. Today, when Xhaka scored to make it 1-0, we should have then gone in for the kill. Like that. Going for the kill. 2-0, 3-0, game over. Sporting Lisbon, bye-bye. That's what we should have done. But we didn't. We took our foot off the gas. We tried to walk it in too much. And then we gave them hope. They scored a brilliant wonder goal. They had the momentum. And they won it on penalties. Sometimes you have to have killer mentality. The top teams do. We did not display that today whatsoever because we took the lead. Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard have been class this season. I 100% agree, man. Look, we lost this game, but that's not going to make me think this team's horrible. I still have a lot of faith in these players, and that does not take away the fact that those players you mentioned there, alongside Saliba, Gabriel as well for me, Ben White even, a lot of this Arsenal team have been unbelievable this season. World class at times, man. I can't take that away from them. They've come in and they've done a job. Martinelli, he's been off the boil recently, but don't forget him at the start of the season, cooking. Jesus, nice to see him back from his injury. We need him big time on the weekend again. Jesus was so important in that first half, man. Like, there's a difference between him and Nketiah. I spoke earlier about how Zinchenko and Tierney, they play different roles even though they play the same position. It's the same with Nketiah. Jesus is an IQ footballer. You don't train under Pep Guardiola for 4 or 5 years and not know how to play football. When I say not know how to play football, I don't mean just technically gifted. I mean reading things, making runs at the right time. The first goal we scored through Xhaka. Notice Jesus slots in, draws a defender, so then the ball goes in behind from Jorginho for Martinelli to chase, shoot, and then rebounds to Xhaka to score. Jesus' slight movement from out to in creates the chance. He's that type of player. When we play against low blocks, because make no mistake about it, low blocks are coming for us. Chris Pye's going to come and they're going to defend deep, sit 11 men behind the football. Leeds will do exactly the same thing. We need creative players like Jesus to unlock a door. And I think he will do exactly that, man. So I love those type of players at the football club. Him coming back from injury is a masterstroke. We wanted to give him 60 minutes. Obviously, injuries-wise, meaning we only had 1 substitution left. We didn't want to risk it. So we brought him off at half-time. It is what it is, man. Jesus, at least going to be fit for the weekend because we need him to perform. And look, Arsenal fans, let me ask you an honest question right now, yeah? Would you have rather won this game and lose to Crystal Palace or lose in the Europa League and beat Crystal Palace on the weekend? Because for me, I'd rather beat Crystal Palace on the weekend. I'll be completely honest. Obviously, that's hypotheticals. Like, just because we lost today doesn't mean we're beating Crystal Palace on the weekend. Vice versa, if we won today, doesn't mean we're also beating Crystal Palace on the weekend. But I'd rather win all the Premier League games. I want this Premier League so badly. I'm 20 years old, turning 21. I've obviously Arsenal won the Premier League in 2004 with the Invincibles, but I was in nappies. I don't remember that. I've not seen my team have Premier League success with my own 2 eyes. My earliest football memory was probably the Ronaldo halfway line free kick in the Champions League semi-final. Do you remember that? Blue Kit United when they beat us 3-1. That's probably my earliest Arsenal memory. I've only seen heartbreak for this football club. Yeah, I've seen a few FA Cups. I've seen Arsenal, Aaron Ramsey, beautiful win, FA Cup against Hull in 2014. Sanchez in 2015. I was in Wembley to see that. Obviously beat them in 2017, Chelsea, and again in 2020 for the FA Cup. But all I've seen is FA Cups and Community Shields. I want the proper silverware, man. I want the trophies like the Premier League, the Champions League, the Europa League. I want the trophies that make top clubs, not the FA Cups and the Carabao Cups. I want to see top trophies. I want to see trophies that made Arsenal become the 3rd most successful club in England's history. I don't want to see FA Cups. I want to see Premier Leagues. And we've got a chance this season, man. We've got a genuine chance to win the Premier League. We got to go all in for it, man. No excuses. 1 competition, 11 finals. I want this team locked in. We could get Vieira the sack. I know. They're yet to win a game in 2023, Crystal Palace. But I've lost. Look, they didn't do a job again. They didn't do us a favour against Man City the other weekend. Against Man City, they were this close to winning, to getting a point from that match. Elise, horror challenge in the penalty box. And for me, look, big up Patrick Vieira, man. Arsenal legend, invincible. But it's about us right now. We need the points, man. Like, I'd love you to stay in your job. I absolutely would. He's an Arsenal legend. But if he gets sacked because he loses against us, it is what it is, man. I'm not sacrificing our points on the way to win the Premier League because I want to keep Vieira in his job. Big up to him. Much respect. But we need to win this game. Do us a favour and lose. And then you can win the rest of your games for all I care. I remember the 89 league win. See, that's the memories I want to have. I want to see Michael Thomas through on goal, 92nd minute. 93rd win it, to win 2-0 at Anfield in 89 and win Arsenal the league. I want to see those memories. I want to see us on Wolves on the final day. Saka, through on goal to win us the Premier League in 2023 against the odds. Hollywood makes a film on it. No one expected Arsenal to win the league this season. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see us win FA Cups, man. Like, no disrespect. I don't mind the FA Cup, obviously. I've seen us win it. But I want to see us win these big, big competitions, these big, big trophies. I want to see why Arsenal are the third biggest club in the world. I want to see why we've got fans from Singapore, all over Africa, all over America, all over England. I want to see why we're a massive football club. And that's because you win big trophies. We need to win this Premier League now. Reading versus Arsenal still lingers in my mind, 7-5. Oh, what a game that was. What a game that was, that 7-5. I remember that as well. Emi Martinez in goal for that game, I remember. He pulled an absolute shocker. A lot of Arsenal fans were leaving at half-time. Hey, what a game that was. I remember that's a brilliant game. That's one of my favourite Arsenal games, man. Brilliant, brilliant match. Reading v Arsenal 2012 in the cup. Brilliant, man. I was 14. See, that's a good age as well, because you would understand football by that age. You'd know what's going on, and you see that. I don't have those memories. I don't. Maybe this Arsenal team can create it. Maybe they can, man. Today I was watching the Champions League 2006 replay on YouTube. 20-minute long replay. Just because I know you had a Europa League game, and I was thinking, you know what? Let me watch this heartache, this club's experience, man. 2006 final. And look, I see heartbreak again today. Obviously, it's not to the same extent as losing in the Champions League final. Do not get me wrong. But it's Europe with this team, man. We're cursed in Europe. I don't get it. How are we the best team in the Premier League yet we can't beat Sporting Lisbon over 2 legs? Makes no sense to me. It's just the way it is. But like I said, I'd rather lose this than beat Crystal Palace than the other way around. If you gave me a choice. If the genie from Aladdin came to me and said, look, Dennis, if you'll beat Crystal Palace on Sunday, but unfortunately you're going to have to get knocked out of the Europa League, I would say, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's sad, but I'll take your offer. I would. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans would. The Premier League is our finals. Like, you could talk about all these two-legged competitions. The Premier League literally is our finals. That is our 11 games. That is our 11 Europa League finals in the Premier League. And it starts with Crystal Palace on Sunday. We have to be up for it. Big up the Arsenal fans as well. Because when we did lose tonight, there was still chance of Arsenal. No one was downbeat. The fans were still clapping us. The fans were still cheering us. The fans are behind this team. No matter what happens, they are behind this team from start to finish. So big up them for that, man. They were immense today. Monumental throughout. I can't fault the Arsenal fans whatsoever, especially when there has been train strikes today. So there was a few empty seats. Big up them. Horrible weather. They still turned up in their masses and helped the team. Couldn't quite get us over the line, but it is what it is. One of the most underrated players was Ray Parlour. He was a total workhorse, man. Romford Pele, something like that. Unbelievable, man. But I was having this conversation earlier. If Arsenal do win the league with this team, does this Arsenal team go down as like some of these players are legends already? I think if this Arsenal team wins the league, Martin Odegaard already is more of a legend than Ozil already. I think he already is now for what he's contributed. Like, no offense to Ozil, but Martin Odegaard for me has produced unbelievable things. If he wins the Premier League, does he become more of a legend than Cesc Fabregas? It's an uncomfortable conversation. Bukayo Saka, he becomes a legend if Arsenal win the Premier League. He does. A lot of these Arsenal players have a chance to do special things. Because at the start of the season, no one was expecting this type of stuff to happen, man. Honestly, no one was expecting it. I think a lot of Arsenal fans were thinking, look, if we get top 4, it's a brilliant season. It's another step forward. The fact we're challenging for this league, unbelievable. And by me saying it's unbelievable we're challenging for the league, do not get me wrong. I'm not going to be delighted if we finish second now. It's where we are. We are challenging for this league. We have to win it now for me. We're going all in to win this league. I'll be disappointed if we don't win the Premier League from this position. But either way, still grateful for the way it's going. Arshavin, the 4-4 game at Anfield. What a game that was, man. Arshavin, 4 goals. I remember that guy as well. Yeah, if we win the league, this team will go down as a special team. 100%. 100%. It'll go down as a special team. A brilliant crop of players for sure. So I'm going to end this stream by going through the player ratings. In goal, Aaron Ramsdale. To be fair, I think he was one of our better players, and that goes to say a lot, to be honest. He made a brilliant save in the second half of his face from Marcus Edwards. Shot it, and he just bombed off his face and went wide. He was down for a few minutes because of it. Ramsdale came up clutch again, man. This keeper, I've seen a genuine improvement from him. When we signed him, I'm going to be completely honest, I was not a fan. He's got relegated twice with Bournemouth and Sheffield United, but boy, has this guy turned up and improved. Against Aston Villa, what a save from Leon Bailey. And we go on to win that game. today. Obviously, we don't go on to progress. We don't go on to win this game. But still, what a save from Aaron Ramsdale there. For me, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. The penalties, he should do better on one of them. I'm not going to lie. I think it was the third penalty for Sporting Lisbon. He got a glove to it, but just not strong enough. Pushed it into the net. One of those things. 7 out of 10 for Ramsdale. Imagine if Arteta winning it with his first job. I think it just goes to show that it was the right appointment. Because I remember when a lot of people got Arteta in, they were like, oh, he just sets out the coins for Pep Guardiola. Disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. For me, but the thing is, another thing is, big up Arteta. He's a top manager. He's displaying it now. A lot of people go, oh, Arsenal gave Arteta time. The new thing is you have to give manager time. You have to give the manager time. For me, I think that's a load. That's a load of that's waffle, man. That's cap. You can't. There's nothing just giving the manager time. You have to give the right manager time. You give me 20 years, I'm not going to win Arsenal the Premier League. I love football. I watch a lot of football. I'm not a manager. I'm not good enough to win Arsenal the Premier League. So just because Arsenal gave Arteta time doesn't mean you have to give a manager time. If the manager's bad, you sack him. For me, you give a manager time if they, A, are world-class now, or B, you believe they have the potential to be world-class. Then you give a manager time. When we got Arteta in, it was his first job, just like Scott said, so he was not world-class. But Arsenal believed he had the potential to be a world-class manager, hence they kept him in the job. Chelsea have got Potter in there. Potter could go down as a good manager. For me, he will not be a world-class manager, ever. I don't see it in him. I don't. He can prove me wrong, and fair play if he does. So you don't give a manager like that time, in my opinion. He will get it because it's the courtesy of the job. They've employed him. But you give the manager time if you believe they're going to be world-class one day. And that's what we gave Arteta. Time because we believe he's going to be world-class one day. And what do you know? He's turned out to churn out a side that is looking good and he's well-drilled and well-tacticianed. So big up them. Luke again with the Arteta. Bro, allow the Arteta out, man. We don't... What do you mean Arteta out? No. Look at what he's brought this season, Luca. Who would you bring in? Because this Arteta out talk is a joke, man. You say Arteta out, but to sack a manager, you have to bring in another manager. It's a two-stage thing. You can't just say, oh, Emery out, oh, Wenger out, oh, Arteta out. Okay, it's Arteta out. Who do you bring in? No one, because there's not a better manager available than Arteta right now. You bring in Zidane, for example, it's going to take him time. You bring in Tuchel, for example, takes him time. New tacticians. Arteta stay him, bro. Like, come on, man. I want him to stay. Not once in my mind losing today was I thinking, oh, it's time for Arteta to go. Not at all, man. This manager deserves to stay here. 100%. My manager, Mikel Arteta. My manager, bro. On and off the pitch, he's reunited the team, the staff, the fans. Unbelievable manager. What about the Real Madrid rumours on Arteta? I mean, it's interesting. Real Madrid's one of those clubs that no matter who you are, bro, like every football player, and I guess every manager as well, in their time, you're lying if you say you haven't, has either got Real Madrid or Barcelona as one of the options they want to play for. Every football player, every single football player, when they're playing football, in their head's thinking, I'd love to go to either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Normally they have one in their mind. For me, it's Real Madrid. I just prefer them to Barcelona. But every player has that in their mind. That's the pinnacle of their career. It's Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's when you peak. You play for those two sides. For me, I think Arteta is a Barcelona man, though. Let's not forget that. So could he go to Real Madrid? Who knows? I think he will go to Barcelona one day. Arteta won't stay at Arsenal forever. I think he'll win the Premier League, win the Champions League. If he can, hopefully he can. I bloody hope he does. Then I think he'll move on and go to Barcelona. But you can't refuse a Real Madrid job. Let's be completely honest. We needed a complete culture change. Like when Wenger first came, I was not convinced, but I'm now 100%. Exactly. That's what I said about Arteta. He's changed it on and off the pitch. 100% that's what he's done, man. It's not only we're playing good football, the fans are reunited. We're cheering when Arsenal concede. When did that happen in years gone by? Never. Never do you see Arsenal concede and the fans are cheering, they're on their feet saying, come on, raising the spirits. It's because it's a changed team. It's a team that's back and better. And that's big up to Arteta for that, man, because he completely changed the culture. Let's continue with the player ratings. Right back, Tomiyasu played for about 8 minutes. So I'm not going to rate him. Ben White in there. Quiet, man. 5 out of 10 for Ben White. Don't think he had a good game whatsoever. Wasn't getting forward as much as he needed to be completely honest. Not good. Saliba, not going to rate him because he played about 20 minutes. His replacement, Rob Holding. Rob Holding, look, he hasn't played a lot of minutes. I think he's played about 13 minutes all Premier League season. Today, obviously not his greatest. He's a step down from Saliba, but he made some vital blocks in there. I'm not going to be harsh on Rob Holding. He's not played a lot of football recently. He's a true professional. He's not someone that's going to win you the league. Like, I don't want him to start against Crystal Palace. I'd rather a 60% Saliba start than Rob Holding. But he came in there when he was asked to defend. He defended. He made some good blocks. 6 out of 10 for Rob Holding. Left centre-back, Gabriel. Gabriel, one of our most underrated players this season. Bear in mind, he has to defend 2 positions as well. Let's not forget that. We all big up Saliba, and big up Saliba rightly so.
But because of where Zinchenko plays, like next to Saliba, he's got Ben White, who defends anyway, or Tomiyasu. Gabriel next to him, Zinchenko just vacates that position and goes forward. So Gabriel's defending both centre-back and left-back. Let's not forget that at times. Like, he's covering 2 positions. So big up to him for Gabriel today for that. Don't think he had an amazing game, to be completely honest. But I will give him a 6 out of 10. Coming in saying, I don't like Ben White. Why? Like, is it because he's not attacking enough? I think Ben White's a decent player, to be completely honest. I think we should sign an attacking-minded right-back, like a similar to Zinchenko on the right-hand side, just for versatility. Because both our right-backs, Tomiyasu and Ben White, are defensive, and both our left-backs, Zinchenko and Tierney, are attacking. I feel like it's more balanced if you have one from each position that's attacking and one that's more defensive. Maybe that's just me that's thinking that. For me, in the summer, I'd sell Tierney, shift Tomiyasu to a backup left-back. So I think he actually plays better at left-back, if I'm being completely honest. And then sign a backup right-back. I know we all linked this Ivan Fresneda guy. Apparently 18 years old, Spanish. I like the sound of that. Technically gifted already. Maybe him as like a potential Zinchenko kind of like an understudy that can learn under Zinchenko and play that position. I like the sound of that. I would not be against us selling Tierney and signing a right-back in the summer, for sure. Speaking of Zinchenko, let's rate him out of 10. I don't think it was his best game, to be completely honest. He was doing what he normally does, filling in that midfield. But then again, Sporting Lisbon targeted him. Because when they went forward, they were attacking from their right-hand side. They knew Zinchenko would go forward. They knew he'd vacate that left-back position. And they kept bombing forward. They kept attacking that right-hand side. Then they would drag Gabriel over, drag the rest of the team over, and get overloads on the other side of the pitch. It was plain and simple what they were doing. But Zinchenko, I don't think he had an awful game. 5 out of 10 for me. Moving into midfield. In there, Jorginho's a bit quiet. He got obviously the pre-assist for the goal. Brilliant ball forward. And he does supply that. And also, he is a leader. I can see it now. When we first signed Jorginho, I was thinking, I wanted Caicedo. It wasn't the fact that I was annoyed with us signing Jorginho to that extent. It was because I honestly thought we were signing Caicedo. Like, we submitted 2 bids, 60 million and 70 million, which are both brilliant bids, by the way, for him. Didn't quite go over the line. But Jorginho's a leader. Even in throw-ins, you can see him directing the team saying, you push there, telling Fabio Vieira where to go, for example. You need those type of players in the locker room. He's definitely a smart footballer. I think he was all right today. Hey, watching from Kenya. It's 3 a.m. Big fun here. Good job, man. Big up you, John, watching from Kenya, bro. I love all my viewers tuning in from all around the world. It's one of those things, man. We lost today. Hopefully don't be too downbeat. Get a good night's rest tonight. But yeah, one of those things. Jorginho overall, 5 out of 10. Moving to the middle. Xhaka scored today. Other than that, wasn't that influential. I think we actually got overrun in that midfield, especially in that second half. Don't think he had an amazing game, to be completely honest. 5 out of 10 for Granit Xhaka. Fabio Vieira, poor man. No offense, Fabio Vieira, bro. Like, really, I don't want to be too harsh on the geezer, but he was poor today. Very, very poor, man. I'm going to have to give Fabio Vieira 4 out of 10. I don't know how he lasted so long on the pitch. Not too much hate, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let's move on to the offensive players, the attackers. Right wing, Reece Nelson. I think Reece Nelson played there? Yeah, he did. He kept switching with Martinelli. Reece Nelson, right wing. I thought at spurts he was good, but overall did not impact the game enough. A lot of our attacks were going down the left. I know Arteta likes to keep his wingers on the touchline. So if we're attacking down the left, unfortunately, Reece Nelson was not touching the ball enough. 5 out of 10 just wasn't impactful enough on the football match. Martinelli, other side, here and there in spurts. Didn't have any clear-cut chances. Also, I feel like he's really stepped his game down since the World Cup. Pre-World Cup, he was unbelievable. But I think he's been exposed a little bit. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. He gets the ball and he just runs straight. Like, he just head down and just runs. A bit like Tierney does. He hasn't got enough trickery, I think. Like, Saka's a bit more dynamic in his move. He'll go left. He'll go right. He'll jinky, in and out. Gabriel Martinelli is a bit of a one-trick pony. Just head down, run forward. And when that doesn't work, he's a bit lost on what to do, to be completely honest. I don't think he had an amazing game, Gabriel Martinelli. Wasn't impactful enough. 5 out of 10 for me. And Gabriel Jesus for the middle, thought he actually played all right. Only lasted 45 minutes, of course. Hopefully, just a precaution. Back in for the Premier League on Sunday. We need him big. And what a time for him to come back from his injury. We need him. He's our talisman. 6 out of 10 for Gabriel Jesus. The subs. Trossard, I have to give him a 4. I have to. Why? He missed a gilt-edged opportunity. And it's harsh, but that's football. It's a game of fine margins. You miss that chance, it's the way the cookie crumbles, my friend. He has to score that. He has to score that chance. He doesn't. I'm sorry, Trossard, bro. That's the way it goes. Big up to you because you've been a brilliant signing since you come. You got a hat-trick of assists against Fulham. By me giving you 4 out of 10, I'm not getting on your back too heavy. It's just that chance you have to score for me. You don't. Is what it is. There's another chance in the extra time in the second half where it fell to him. And he just took a touch and then flicked it backwards. I think he lost confidence from that first shot he had. I think in that first shot where he hit the post in extra time, he lost a bit of confidence because Saka played in the ball and he literally had the ball in front of the goal. Like, he was in the penalty box. Why is he not shooting? He's dragging it back to nobody. It's one of those things, man. For damn harsh. It is harsh. Look, Scott, I understand it's harsh, but it's a game of fine margins. Like, if Haaland's in that position, he scores that goal. Let's be completely honest. And then we're not even talking about the potential penalties. Trossard, he's an attacker. He scores those chances. You have to. He didn't. It's the way it goes. It was literally on a plate. Sporting Lisbon made one mistake all game. You have to punish those teams. You have to, and he didn't. Other subs, Partey came on. I thought he was good. I thought he actually gained some momentum in that midfield. Whether that was down to him or down to the fact that Sporting Lisbon started to back off a little bit once they realised that Arsenal were actually going a bit more momentum with it. Probably a mixture of the both. I'm going to give Partey 6 out of 10. Saka scored his penalty. Big up to him for that. Kind of non-existent when he came on the pitch, though, especially in that second half. We didn't get him the ball enough. They really snuffed him out. Arteta moved him to left wing to get some more joy. Weren't really working, to be honest. I think Saka kind of had a quiet game when he came off the bench. Is what it is. 5 out of 10. Anyone else off the bench really of importance? Can't think so. I think, Odegaard came on as well. Odegaard, impactful, man. He comes on, lifts the crowd, running, sprinting. Should have had the whole extra time to come on. Don't know why he waited 10 minutes. Not too sure. Either way, Odegaard was impactful. 7 out of 10 for me for Martin Odegaard. But overall, those are my player ratings. As always, I know your player ratings as well. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'm going to release a proper video match review around 10 minutes long after this is done. So check out my channel for that. If you love Arsenal-related content and you love this stream, make sure you subscribe as well, man. I relate to all Arsenal games, review them all, Arsenal news, etc. We're out the Europa League, guys, but it's one of those things. We focus on the Premier League now. We've got 11 finals left, and we're reacting to all of them, and we'll spin a roller coaster season. It's one of those things. Knocked out on penalties, you can't hate the team for that. I still have much respect in this team. We now got to focus on the Premier League. Crystal Palace on Sunday, going to be reacting to it here. Of course, live streaming once it's done. Massive, massive game of football. Humongous. Bigger than this game. Make no mistake about it. Crystal Palace on Sunday is bigger than this game. We have to win. Have to. Nice one, mate. New sub. Appreciate that, Scott. Anyone else that's new around here and enjoyed the stream, make sure you subscribe down below. Loved hearing your thoughts throughout on the comments. That's why I love doing these streams now. Get the live chat involved. See what you lot are saying. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Just a bunch of Arsenal fans getting together and talking about the game. That's what football's all about. Today, it didn't quite happen. It's now been night. I've got university tomorrow at 9 a.m. Don't know what I'm still doing here, to be honest. But it's one of those things. Do it for the love of the game. As always, make sure you check out my channel after this. Subscribe down below. Check out my match review, which will be out. I've been White Football. Hope to see you all in my next live stream. Take care, guys.